What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I'll be talking about the Fuji X-S10 and the Kodak Portra 800 film recipe. Now let's start with the X-S10. It shoots 8 frames per second mechanical shutter, 20 frames per second electronic shutter. It has the exact same sensor as the X-T4 and the X-T3. It has all the current Fujifilm simulations, which is awesome. It has a flip screen, and you also get IBIS, and you get all of this for sub $1,000, which is an amazing offer. The camera also does well in low light too. Now let's talk about the Kodak Portra 800 film recipe, and all these photos you're going to see is shot with that recipe. Now this recipe is actually based off the Kodak film stock that a lot of professional photographers used to use in the days of film photography. And from what I've seen, this film recipe gets you pretty close to what you used to get when you shoot on that film stock. Now when you're shooting this in the right conditions, this film stock will make your photos look nostalgic but also filmic as well. Literally, these Fujifilm recipes look so good in your camera that if you shoot these photos right in the right conditions, you don't have to edit none of them. And that can actually be really beneficial in a lot of situations. This is what makes shooting on the Fujifilm camera so special. The fact that with a digital camera, you can customize all your settings so you can make your camera mimic like you're shooting film. So you get all the pros of shooting film without any of the cons, like having to scan your photos and hoping you got a good shot, but not knowing what you get until they're developed. Now, one thing I did notice while shooting with recipes is you really have to shoot intentional. Like I said, every recipe won't work in every situation. So you definitely have to use it in the right conditions. And I noticed that a couple times while shooting with this recipe, I had to overexpose my image so I can get a clean image or close to the image I was looking to capture. Now, I don't mind doing this because it made me shoot more intentional. Like I said, it made me really think about the photos I'm trying to capture and not just going outside and spraying and praying. Now, to me, the perfect condition for a Kodak Portra 800 is right at sunset, not before. Right at sunset. I feel that this made my images look the best, and I had the best cinematic look on my photos, and the colors I was getting directly at sunset were just phenomenal. If I wasn't a photographer, I would think that those photos were shot raw and edited and not straight out of camera. That's how good they came out, at least to me personally. Now here's a tip. If you're shooting somebody that's black, you may want to desaturate the reds a little bit, because when I shot my friend Leonard, his skin tones was actually coming out a little bit more red than I would like. So before you shoot anybody with darker skin tone, just desaturate that red just a little bit. Now I've been looking into film recipes for a while, but I honestly didn't really consider using them until I saw a video by Eric Jaymes where he went out and tested some Fujifilm recipes and they looked amazing. And after I saw his video, that's when I told myself maybe I should start using these. Now I do a lot of event photography, and I'm looking to create a recipe or use an existing one that I can use when shooting my events. The reason is because I want to be able to deliver photos to my client on that same day. I want to give them photos that they can upload to social media and show people their events. And what that also does, that helps take stress off you, because since they have a sneak preview of what the photos will look like, or kinda, they won't be texting you asking you when they will be done. Now, I'm always looking for ways to speed up my editing workflow, and I do feel like using Fujifilm recipes will help me achieve that. Now, the lens I use to capture those photos is the Viltrox 56mm f1.4. This is a third-party lens by Viltrox, and it's amazing. I love the 85mm focal length, and I love the compression that I get with this lens. I also shot an entire Chaldean communion with this lens in an X-S10. When I'm able to share that gallery, I'll definitely put it on here so you guys can see the results. Now, I own the X-T4 and the 16mm f1.4, which is what I'm shooting on now. I own the Viltrox 23mm f1.4, the Fuji 35mm f1.4, but to be honest, my favorite combo is the X-S10 and the 56mm f1.4 by Viltrox. The reason is that this camera can do damn near everything the X-T4 can, but in a smaller and lighter package. And the Viltrox 56mm is so small, and it's actually one of the smaller lenses compared to the Fuji 9 56 1.2, the Fuji 9 f1, and every other 50mm APS-C lens out there. With this very small and lightweight package, you have more than enough horsepower to go out and shoot professional photos. Don't believe people on YouTube when they're telling you that you need a full frame camera or a bigger camera and lens to be considered a professional, because honestly, that's not true. What makes you a professional photographer is you mastering the camera gear that you have to get the best possible image quality that you can get. But thank you to everybody who watched this video. Thank you to everybody who stuck around. And before you go, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. See you next time. Peace.